What's up, YouTube? Um, I pretty much have some interesting stuff to talk about in this video. Um, of course, a lot of people are going to say that this is, not true, and this, because mechanics and car specialists in the business of like selling car products say, oh, this is not true. I want to first refer you to my videos about the oil change, why you should stop going to it. And I also want to refer you to my videos where I talk about how the laws of physics works in depth. And I want you to do those two things, and then I want you to try to answer this question. How do we know for sure that these car specialists, we could call them, who try to sell you car products aren't just aware that I'm right and just don't want you to know it, so you keep paying them more money? It turns out it's actually possible to have gasoline in your car for free. There is a way to do this totally for free, and I'll explain it. I already do it myself. Now, I have talked about how to get free gas by making gas. I have talked about that on my channel a really long time ago. Mentioned it briefly. However, I'm not talking about that in this video. I'm talking about something that hasn't been around for a long time. See, while they talked about how to make gas for cheap, I found a way to make gas for free. So let me explain how this works. First of all, let me just tell you, you need to meet a number of different requirements. You need what is called a passive stream of income that is given to you for free. Now, I don't care how you get this, just make sure you get it for free. But that's entirely up to you. The other thing you need is a car or any other sort of thing that runs on what's supposed to be a form of gas. So like hydraulic powered engine inside of any sort of thing. You need something like that, and you need to have one more thing, which is make sure that whatever you have of this thing, its inner parts work good enough that it's not that you can combust. I mean, it can combust the liquid that you put in a substitution for gas. Or if you, of course, just want to make gas, like I said, in this video I'm going to talk about how to make gas for free, as well as how to get a substitute for gas that works around just as good, but it's still for free. You don't have to pay to get it. So yeah, like, I also want to say that before I explain that, I want to explain something. It's pretty obvious that this is something that would be very good to do, simply because if people do this, it will save them a lot of money in their entire lifetime. Yeah, just so I would say going to save them thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars if they start doing this. If people had been doing this, if there's a guy and he started doing this 30 years ago and he's an older man now, he'd have thousands or millions of dollars in savings. Even in 1 year, this guy would have thousands of dollars of savings, probably. So, let alone in multiple years. So, let me just explain this. So, if you go to Google, this isn't really that hard. Just look up the pH scale, which is the scale of acidity for liquids. Now, if you see my other videos that I talked about earlier, you know I have given a basic explanation, dumbed it down for everybody, how acidity works. You don't have to watch my videos on it. I'm not trying to force anybody to use whatever you want to figure out how acidity works in liquids, if you need to. But feel free to watch those videos. And if it's acidity, if it's more acidic than gas that you get at the gas station, then it's a good substitute for gas. And if it's as acidic as gas, but it is not gas, and that's a good substitute. And yeah, you can make your own gas. All you need to do is, like I said, look at the ingredients for gas online. You should know that gas has a high alcohol content. And there's another easy way to look at this is to just look at the color of the liquid. I've talked about why elements are just colors, and if you get brighter colors, it's more acidic. And if it's transparent, that's not a color, but that's a high level of acidity. If you go past the brightest color on the spectrum of color, then it's something that's even more acidic than the brightest color. And it's not really a color, it just ends up being transparent. So you can test this out yourself with liquids, and you can verify that this is true, that it's the more transparent the liquid, the more acidic. It's already been verified. And so, following this logic, you could just mix these liquids until you get a liquid that is not more acidic than gas and not less acidic. Or you could just use one that's more acidic already. A lot of sodas at the store are already more acidic than gas, even according to the same sources of information I mentioned earlier. Of course, if this is really true, then it must be the case that you could put these sodas in your car engine, gas tank, which will make the engine run through combustion. And, it should stay intact. I mean, if you had, a liquid that's more acidic than gas, let's say it's soda is, if this was really true, then it's going to combust more easily against the electricity inside of your engine. See, because the way it works is you have electricity inside of an engine, and that is what is supposed to burn the liquid till it is vaporized and explodes, these micro explosions will hit so hard against the metallic parts within the car engine so that they will move really fast, so that your how do I say it? So your car will run. It will drive. The wheels will turn. So, yes, realistically speaking, you just need something that, has a low density enough that the electricity can actually vaporize it. The size of electricity in your car engine, it will not become larger because you put in a liquid that's more acidic, per se. Obviously, your gas is not really released onto the electricity unless you press the gas pedal. Otherwise, you could have your car sitting in the driveway of your house, and the gas would just be passively getting vaporized by the electricity in your engine. So, now the electricity in your engine, of course, it is stored inside of your engine. It doesn't go out or get extinguished, even if you turn your car off, for this all to make sense. So yeah, if you turn your car on, it will obviously still be there. You turn it off, it's still there. So yeah, like if you put, some sort of liquid onto the electricity in there, you can only do this by pressing the gas pedal, which releases the gas liquid, throws it at the electricity. So, as long as your car is able to do that, and it's not so old, banged up and misused that it can't even do that part, which you should double check, of course, triple check even, make sure who you're supposedly calling a trustworthy mechanic isn't lying or a liar or hiding what they're doing, then you should work. Of course, you could use, like I said, any form of free income that you already do or don't have to do this. However, one that comes to mind for me is something called SNAP, SNAP, LINK, SNAP Link. It's a government benefit. I live in Illinois. I have SNAP. I get a link card. Got a link card from them. And they give me free money every month for it. Well, I can use this free money for food. Go to the store and buy the sodas for free. And just keep using them for free gas. It is definitely something that I would say you should try out. Because ultimately, if all these sodas really are more acidic, then they're just going to be easier for your car, for those metal parts to shred right into them. That's the whole point. If you shred through them, they can explode. And, well, not shred through them. The whole point is that your electricity is hot enough to vaporize these liquids. And again, water, why does water not work? Because we all know that water would not get vaporized by electricity. It would extinguish electricity. Although it actually does depend on what concentration you have of the two. I mean, if I had a lightning bolt from the sky go up against one drop of water, the drop of water is not going to extinguish the electricity. So it depends on the size of the two. But at the sizes that are in the car engine, water would extinguish the electricity. So really what you want to do is you want to not put water in there. You want to put something that's more acidic than gas. This way you wouldn't extinguish electricity. You would just probably make it even hotter than before, which would, of course, give your car more power than it started with. Your car, you don't want to put too much electricity, of course. You don't want to create so much electricity that it melts the metal parts of your car in the engine. Now, you can rest assured this won't happen, of course, simply because electricity that's so small would not grow much bigger in size if you even did use a liquid that's more acidic than everyday gas liquid from the gas station. Maybe it would the spark would grow larger in size. It probably would, but not very much, not by a lot, simply because any liquid that is more acidic than gasoline that you can get at the store is not extremely more acidic. So it's not physically possible. It's not many times more acidic. So yeah, the best bet is for you to how do I say it? Really just, if you're afraid, try it on a car that you're not afraid to try this out on, that you don't need. But yeah, or have like a rich friend try this on his car, because if he has that happen to his, he's not going to care. So you can always just get another car. You can just get the engine replaced or fixed, or just get whatever liquid he put in, take it out without doing the other stuff. So like, realistically speaking, it really all comes down to, is it really true that the sorts of sodas on the market are more acidic than gas? So do your own research on that, and if it turns out, if it turned out that they were, you get yourself a link card to get them for free, or you can use some other government benefit to get money to do it, or you could use, what else? I mean, you don't have to use a government benefit. You could use whatever other forms of extra money you can use to do this. Although, it is kind of funny, because a lot of people say, well, a lot of people could just make passive income other ways and then just use it for gas anyway, which is what a lot of people do. A lot of people have side hustles and they just use it for extra money for gas. But you also got to consider that it's pretty hard to get a side hustle that generates those levels of money, first of all. Second of all, not only that, but the cost of doing the side hustle. How hard is it to perform the behaviors and actions in it? So it might be much worse to perform a side hustle to generate the money for gas or a substitute for it than to just get some government benefit to do it. And in most cases, this would be the case. So it's just really better than just what people have said about a side hustle. If you're talking about the average side hustle, then yes. If you're talking about one that would be extraordinary, well, then you're just talking about someone starting their own business that's abnormally successful, which, again, I'm not talking about that. So this is something for the average person, for average people who will not ever, I don't think, ever be rich. Yes, they will never be rich. Financially, if there's a middle class. So all at the same time, it would be impossible, obviously. So yeah, it's just really worth the investment. Yeah, comparing to comparing to the, things I just said, yeah, it's a better investment. So that's how to get free gas. Again, not saying believe me just because I said so. I'm just trying to dumb this down for people who don't know how to think about this stuff. So help make it easier to understand. So that's how I would do it. Yeah, that's all there is to say. Another thing I was going to say about this is that I think that, if people started to do this, it is, of course, going to contradict what a lot of forms of indoctrination say would ever happen, that, would humans ever do this stuff? So, for many reasons, and it's going to get people to question their indoctrination more. Anyway, that's all for this video. Bye.